This is the most important electric vehicle that BMW has ever made, and it's arguably one of the most important cars that BMW has ever made. You're looking at the new iX3, and this is the future of BMW. We're Edmunds, and we test hundreds of cars each year on the road and at our private track, so you get the most trusted reviews. If you want to know which car, truck, or SUV is the best, then stick with us. So you know the BMW X3. It's their small crossover that sits right in the heart of the vehicles that Americans love to buy. That's why it was so important for BMW to do an electric version of this car as well. Now it will eventually do battle with other competitors like the Mercedes GLC electric vehicle and the Audi Q6 e-tron, among others. So BMW has a lot riding on this for a few reasons. The biggest of which is this is a clean sheet redesign that brings us directly into the future of BMW. The technology you see in this car, the way it looks, all of that is eventually going to roll out into every car that BMW makes. And to put it another way, this is the biggest single investment the company has ever made into a new vehicle. And new car means we have a brand new BMW grille for you guys to complain about. I actually kind of like it. And I don't just mean the grille, I mean the entire SUV. Now, BMW styling has been the punchline of many a joke for the last few years, and that's for good reason. But the iX3 is pointing things in the right direction with a fresh design that, at least in my humble opinion, really works. Oh, and that's just the outside. So welcome to the future of BMW interiors, and the crown jewel of that is the brand new iDrive system. We've gotten used to the kind of side-by-side screen thing that they're doing in all of their cars on the road right now, and this is a complete rethink of that. Now we have one touchscreen in the middle. It's an 18-inch display, and it's kind of verted, just like that. Looks like somebody messed with it in Photoshop. But if you thought, hey, that's actually kind of restrained for all the screens that cars are getting right now, you'd be wrong, because right behind the touchscreen is a huge display that spans the entire windshield of the car, and they call that Panoramic Vision. So the goal with that is to take the information here and put it higher up on the dash so that your eyes are actually on the road. Now, the first thing I can say about this display, even interacting with it for 5 minutes so far, is just how quick it is to respond. BMW already makes a good infotainment system. It's one of the better ones in the industry, but this is a huge step forward. The colors, the graphic, everything here looks fantastic. And when it comes to the information you can put up there, if I swipe down here, hit this button, you can see that it's super configurable. So I tap here, I can delete all of these different little widgets, and I can add anything that I want. So you can have your navigation, your music, even this weird little virtual assistant up there, which, by the way, I can activate that as well. Navigate me to Berlin.
Okay, Berlin.
You can see even the response time on that is quick. And when I select it, the navigation will come up here, or I can put it in front of me on the head-up display as well. This is all very clever. This information you can put in the touchscreen or in front of you as the driver. How useful it is? Well, we'll test that a lot more and let you know. And then we have a brand new steering wheel as well. Now the design itself is kind of crazy. The spokes are actually at the very top and bottom, which is a little bit different, but as you get used to it, I kind of like the way it looks, to be honest with you. One thing I'm less sold on so far is these buttons on the steering wheel. They are haptic feedback, and they're also just kind of small. I'm sure it's one of those things where as you work with it a little bit more, you get used to it. But this tiny little arrow right now is controlling way up on the dash. BMW says the reason they went with these haptic feedback buttons instead of real clicky buttons the way we like it is because it will change what is available to you depending on driving circumstances. So all the driver assistance stuff over here, for example, well, now it will let me automatic park, but if I'm driving 60 miles per hour on the freeway, that button will go away and not give me the option. So they're trying to figure out ways to give you the most important information at the right time. Now, once you're done figuring out all the technology in front of you, you can actually drink in the details around you. And first impressions are really good here. BMW interiors right now, there are colors and patterns and shapes and shiny things. Just, you kind of look all over the place. It's information overload. This is a very different direction. I have kind of a simple dash layout with just one material over it. The seats are actually really nice. I've been sitting in them for hours now as we're doing this film right now, and I'm really liking the support that they offer. Even the controls to move the seats backward and forward are simple. There's just 2 buttons to pick from. I like this direction that they're taking, where less is a little bit more. And if you're interested in this BMW iX3, a regular gas-powered X3, or really any other car, head over to Edmunds.com, where we have the tools to help you find the right car for you. Second row space in the iX3, not bad. Edmunds just bought an X3 to add to our long-term test fleet. That's the gas-powered one, and I can tell you right off the bat that this second row is a much nicer place to hang out. The legroom is better, the headroom is better. Now, why that's the case is because this car doesn't have an engine. They were able to stretch out the wheelbase a little bit and donate all of that extra room to those riding in the second row. In terms of amenities, I have 2 air conditioning vents back here. I can control the temperature in the second row, and I have 2 USB-C ports to charge phones. 2 things I feel like I am missing. I don't have any heated seats in the second row. There's also no pockets behind the seats. That's a little bit strange. So back here we have a pretty decent sized cargo area, and you do have the ability to split fold down the seats 60-40. You can't do it from the trunk, but if you go around the sides of the car, you can do it with the tab. Now, one thing that the iX3 does that the combustion powered X3 does not is give you a little bit of space up front as well. The iX3 is going to offer a more advanced driving experience compared to other BMWs on the road right now. I know advanced is a weird word used to describe that sort of thing, but that's exactly what it's going to be, thanks to some insane computing power. The iX3 has 4 super brains running all of its technology. Yes, that word sounds really dramatic, and yes, that's what BMW actually calls them. Now, one of these brains is dedicated completely to driving dynamics, and it is called, wait for it, the Heart of Joy. Listen, I just report the information. The Heart of Joy, in actual human being speak, will do lots of things to make the car's driving experience better and more efficient. One example of this is that BMW says 98% of the car's braking can be done with regen without needing to touch the physical brakes at all. So let's talk about the powertrain. This is the iX3 50, aka the dual motor setup. So you have 1 motor on the front axle and 1 on the rear axle. This car also has a usable capacity, the battery, of about 108 kilowatt hours. It makes 470 horsepower, which BMW says is enough to get it from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 4.9 seconds. But more important is the range. They say that this should be good for up to 400 miles of range when it hits the US market. Now, for comparison, the furthest driving BMW that Edmunds has ever tested did 377 miles, so things are moving in the right direction. Do you like what you see here on the Edmunds channel? Do us a favor, like and subscribe. So the new iX3 is going into production later this year, but it won't arrive into the US market until middle of next year as a 2027 model year. And when it does, BMW says the iX3 50 will start at around 60 grand. That's actually better than I thought. The BMW iX, which is already on sale, has less range and older tech, and that starts at $15,000 more. Now, I want to know, do you think this is the right car for BMW to make, and do you think it's at the right price? Let us know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.